Alright guys, welcome back to another 17th audio adventure video. White-winged Elizabeth is here. Unfortunately, I've just recorded my video testing her out in all the contents. And I've got to say, she's kind of crazy. In fact, I think she might be top tier, maybe even the best character in PvP, because what she does is absolutely crazy. We're going to show the gameplay in a second, but let's break down what makes this character so special and why she is so good, right? Well, first thing is that I think she is very, very free-to-play friendly. There's two reasons why. One, most of her skills don't rely on her being a high dupe level. We'll explain that in a second, but also as well is she has got 65 range, so she does stay out of the fight and also heals herself or resurrects herself, right? Which means if she does die, even if you're low dupe level, it is not gonna make that much of a difference, right? Comparable to every character come out in the recent times where it feels like you need to get them towards like 8, 9, 10 star for them to be usable, especially the DPS characters and sometimes the support characters. Like I think Malaskala was actually pretty decent, but you can't really use her because there's just better things to be doing where no one's doing what Elizabeth is doing. And like I did say, you can use that at a low dupe level, which does make it a little bit better when someone on a banner, because her banner is a special rate up summon, which does mean it does cost an extra like 90,000 gems, where you normally to spend 160,000, when now you got to spend 250,000. And you also get less copies of the character of the guarantee. But like I did say, it doesn't matter if you low roll. If you get a 4 or 5 star, it's definitely worth it, I think. Maybe not too much, but you know, over time you dupe her out, you can spend some currency onto her. I think they're giving like 1 or 2 copies for free in like these events here. Like I do think it's good to get the investment in early to get her, but like I did say, the character is crazy. So the only thing and why you want to dupe her out, of course, is because her healing actually is pretty decent. It kind of surprised me. It's not as consistent, but when it does high roll, it does do a lot of healing. So this heals based off the character's max HP, which once again does mean you want to go towards HP rolls on her potentials. But also that's a good thing, because that means if you're going to be giving her more HP, she's going to survive more, which is obviously a lot better. Also, when she does die, she does heal based off of max HP. So yeah, everything is going towards max HP, which once again does mean the character's dupes do matter in this sense, because not only do you need to successfully land the attack, which does mean dupes accuracy does matter, but also the lower your HP, the less healing you're going to do, right? But even still, at 6 star, or I guess 7 star, it actually impressed me. So yeah, why is the character super free-to-play friendly? Is because all of her skills doesn't scale off one, herself, but also she doesn't need to successfully land an attack, which once again would really matter if the character was low dupe level, because she's more likely to miss, which means you're not going to get the buffs to work. So this Goddess Bless grants triumphant to all allies and restores 5 energy. So if you are using her, to be fair, more outside of PvP content, then you're still going to use Salvo. You're still going to 5 energy every 5 seconds. It's kind of decent. But the Triumphant buff, what it does do, every ally, regardless of race or team synergy, like everyone on your team is going to get this buff, which is going to increase final damage dealt by 50% for every 1 debuff applied, not to her, but to that individual character. Only does max out 3, which is why it's important in PvP, because in PvP, Berserk Melee, if he does an AoE skill, he is going to apply like 5 debuffs onto every character within range. So that does mean Berserk Melee is basically giving you a 150% damage increase. And there's other characters that apply debuffs, so it's not just him. Like normally every other character applies debuffs anyway. We went through the actual special skill where she just fully heals herself. And in the ultimate, guys, this ultimate is crazy. So when you use the skill, you're going to restore allies energy by 10%. So this ultimate is basically free. But it also grants Reflect for 3 seconds, which returns 35% of the damage taken back to the attacker. Unlike Esterosa, who applies Reflect towards himself, that Reflect scales off his attack. This doesn't. This scales off how much damage they deal towards you. And this is towards the whole team. 35% may seem low, but when Berserk Melee, Escanor, or like King, any big DPS Derriere do a massive AoE, it's going to hit everyone on your team, reflecting 35% of the damage dealt, and everyone doing that individually, it's going to stack up. And you'll see in the gameplay in a second when we get towards it in PvP. You notice how quick all the DPS die because they're all doing massive damage and we reflect it all back. But yeah, considering the character scales of HP, you can see right now we have like, what, 7 million HP compared to Elizabeth, which has like 10 million. But this Elizabeth does scale of attack. So I think that it's scaling wise, I think it does scale more in your favor for Elizabeth to be a lower dupe level. And probably really high roll when you get towards like the high dupes. So yeah, in terms of normal content, when you go towards nightmare stages, you're not going to get too much use out of it, because other than you get the free energy, it's kind of nice. But if you pay attention towards any of the characters, I guess we go towards Dario because she is in the front line. You know she doesn't get debuffed at all. So we have the Triumph and buff on, but because we haven't been debuffed, you're not going to get too much use out of it. And then the Reflect, like the bosses don't typically do too much damage towards you. So yeah, you're not gonna benefit too much from her in most, if not all, of the actual like stages going forward in PvE content. Lab Sample Dungeon, you kind of do a little bit. At least right now for me, I'm on the Red Demon, and the Red Demon does apply burn at the start of the match. So you're gonna get at least a little bit of damage increase there, but it's hard to tell if it's actually making a big difference. The Silver Demon does apply a few little bleeds and binds and stuff, but those are very, very short. So trying to time it properly isn't gonna be too helpful. You see right now, we'll do it. So it always starts off with that burn skill, and we have the ultimate, you can see right behind me, like straight away. So we have got the buff on, and it did do like my character did at least like 50 extra damage, but like it's not gonna make a big difference, right? Like even after then, he's already done his debuff, he's not applying it again. It's good to get the 5 energy every 5 seconds, and also because her ultimate is basically free because you give 10 energy back to what you spent, basically. It does make it so you're more likely to reach the end half of your actual ultimate cycle. Because remember, granted not everyone has gotten there yet, you can now have 10 characters on the team, which does mean if you're going to reach the back line, you probably likely want this Elizabeth. Okay, Tower Trials, and we showcase her in the actual hard stages where you can only use red characters. And healing-wise, it was okay. You have to get a little bit lucky because she has to obviously not miss, and you have to have that 40% chance. And her actual attack speed is kind of low. But you look right now, we do clear through it. Once again, I haven't done Tower Trials in a minute now. So is she making a big difference? I mean, you can see some reflects there, but they're not doing too much damage. To be honest with you lot, most of the time in PvE Tower Trials, most of the damage comes from Esterosa's countering back so much, which I wonder how that interaction works a little bit. I'm not actually too sure. But yeah, we cleared through it. It's hard to tell if it made a big difference. But if you look at healing wise, you know, it's not great compared to like Geraldo, who's like, meh. We go again and look at the reflex or debuffs as well. Like, let's look at, I guess, Derriere. Does she get any debuffs on? Yeah, not much reflect going on here. There's a debuff there a little bit, so I guess Derriere does have got the little buff on. Look, she got the Triumphant. There's the buff. So she got at least right now 50% extra damage dealt there, which is kind of okay. The reflects aren't going too crazy. And remember, unlike Esterosa, the reflects that you do apply towards the characters, when the damage is applied, it does scale off that character. So Derriere is getting more damage because of the reflect, where when normally with Esterosa, your actual reflect counts towards himself. So like if you look at the damage wise, Elizabeth is not getting a damage increase because yeah, she's that reflect damage doesn't apply towards her. But look, we high rolled a little bit, we got a bit more healing. It was pretty good. But yeah, where she shines is in PvP. Now, I can showcase my recent matches. Now, I want you all to pay attention. Can we showcase it? The actual, the CC gap. Okay, so this game right here, you can see the healing wise, this was really, really close. Elizabeth on par with almost my maxed out Elizabeth, which was very impressive. Once again, for her to be doing some of the numbers compared to this Elizabeth right here is crazy, considering that she's like, what, 7 stars lower? These two people had like 100 G higher than me. I'm gonna try it again, right? But like, for example, I'm 177 G. I'm pretty sure this guy right here had 280. So if we showcase the matches here, you'll see what I mean by the reflect. So being we apply the reflect and watch all the DPS just die. I'm actually hiding it so you can't see it properly. But like, notice how everyone's just dying. Like all the DPSs before. Like look, Berserk and Esterosa are now dead before anyone else. Because the reflect is killing them because they're doing so much damage towards us. I mean, you can see right here, look. 255 G compared to my 177. This guy did not have Elizabeth. But we absolutely rinsed through him. Because his DPS has died so quick, and because Berserk Melee applied the debuff towards us, we're now doing way more damage. It's insane. This guy's like 110 GG above me, but look, he's got like Esterosa, or not Esterosa, Barn, Berserk Melee, and also Escanor, basically Dario as well, all died instantly because of the reflect. Now, granted, once people start tagging in Elizabeth themselves, then they're going to kill your DPSs. But my point stands, right? I don't think any other character in the game is kind of allowing you to clear or beat someone 100 G higher than you. That's crazy. Like, damage-wise, Berserk Melee did a lot. Healing numbers were like, you can see right now, pretty decent considering that once again she's a lower dupe level. Not as consistent because once again she is RNG based. She might be missing. You might not get, well, you might actually land the skill, but you also might not get the healing to actually work. But once again, I imagine once she does low roll or even like mid roll the healing, and a high dupe level, the heroes are going to come through because look at this. This is a lot. Yeah, it did go on for a while. The healing did come through a little bit. Because once again, our characters are a lot lower, like, in terms of stats. Like, my Derry is struggling to kill this one Gopher. But I think we ended up winning the whole fight regardless, just because we got rid of his DPS so quick. Yeah, look, we could barely even kill him. I think we literally just won because the time ran out, because we healed too much. And we just instantly deleted his DPS because of Reflect. Like, that's crazy. Like, I've never... Oh, my God. We actually got down to... I've never had a game last that long. That shows how much, like, stats higher he had. But because they did so much damage towards me, because he has so much higher stats, Elizabeth reflected it all. That's sick. All right, let's go into a few more games here. Can we beat a 333G? He hasn't got Elizabeth on. I doubt it, though. There's no way we win, right? He might do too much damage towards me. Oh, a lot of damage there. Berserk Melee got instantly deleted, by the way. I should have myself. You can see... Oh, my God, we won! Is that not crazy? How are we beating someone who's got double my CC? And then the funny thing is, too, Berserk Melee and Osa Elizabeth are such a good duo because he has immortality, right? So even though you're basically dead, you're still dealing more damage. And you're kind of just using our body to reflect damage. Like, guys, this is crazy. Like, you get my point. Just notice that every single DPS... Let me move myself in the middle. How every single DPS just dies. We'll refresh here. I want to get some really juicy CC. 400. Can we beat a 400? I didn't check if he's got Elizabeth on. If he does, we lose. He doesn't. But he's got 10 characters, by the way. But he's already dead. Oh, no. Yeah, we got rinsed. Okay, there is a limit. You're not just going to win every fight. But yeah, that is... I mean, I guess it makes sense. But Berserk does so much damage. He's just fully maxed out. Like, this guy's got CC. And yeah, I don't think you can survive his ultimate. Even though you technically reflect the back, if he just kills everyone in one hit, it doesn't make a difference. But that is... The confidence I had to go against that. That shows how crazy she actually is. I'm wasting diamonds here. I want to find someone who's like 7-7. Okay, we'll just go against 173. I mean, we already beat people like double my CC. I have full confidence we're going to win this one. Once again, look, Escanor, double weak there, and he'll just die. Yeah. So yeah, guys, that is going to wrap up today's video. Like I did say, it's fun now because no one, well, I guess the characters came out, so not everyone's using her. But once people start putting Elizabeth in towards our team, your characters will technically die, and then if your DPS die and theirs DPS die, then it will come down to a little bit of a support match going on, which then means they're probably going to outseed, or they're going to beat you because their supports are going to be better. So it's going to equal out a little bit. But the fact that you can do that with the character, even at like a low dupe level in a sense, is absolutely crazy. Definitely worth summoning. Once again, this is a special rate up summon. We only get these every 2 months, so don't worry if you summon now. We're not going to get a crazy outlandish banner that is a must summon. Granted, there may be a cool character come out that you might like and might be worth summoning for. Obviously, that is unpredictable, or not unpredictable, but it happens every 2 weeks. And to be fair, the new characters that come out, you want them to be good, you don't want them to be bad. But in the sense of how we had that half anniversary banner with Gopher, with the insane triple rate up increase with a really good selection of characters, that won't come for at least another 2 months because we're going to get another festival level banner in 2 months' time. And even then, that'll be 2 months before the anniversary. It would be the 1 year anniversary of the game itself when it released in beta. So maybe they might do something for the beta anniversary. But he also will definitely release one of those banners again for the first anniversary. So I think right now it's a good time to summon. Start saving afterwards if you want to. You have plenty of time. Plus, we know we're not getting collaboration, so they're not going to drop in like a crazy banner just randomly. You definitely have time. And I think it's 100% worth it. So yeah, guys, that is going to wrap up to the video. She might be like the second best character in the game next to Berserk Melee. I can't lie. At least in PvP. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching. And yeah, peace.